Welcome back to Bible and Blues. And today it's Tuesday. We got through Monday, and Monday hit and struck again on a Tuesday at my work. I don't know how it's been for you, but yeah. So it was a really really busy, hectic day at work today, and to me, actually doing videos is a great way for me to relax, and partially because um, I get to do a reading tonight, and what's a better way to relax than reading a book? And I could do many other different things with my channel, but I think sitting down tonight and reading uh, a chapter of Rooms with you is going to be really a plus for me. So to me, there's something kind of soothing and comfortable in sitting down and reading for a little bit, and just it's something I've lost in the day to day life that I'm recapturing doing this with you, and it's just a good thing. And so if you're a bookworm and you read 10 books a month or something like that, hats off to you. You're probably a fairly well centered person, or a complete introvert who's probably fairly well centered. So we're going to continue on with Rooms, chapter 7. Micah arrived at Rimsoft early Monday morning with Rick's enigmatic response still swirling through his mind. Deeper issues with the car? Explain it when. Maybe next weekend he tried to find Rick's station and get an answer. Micah pushed the mystery out of his mind for the moment and booted up his computer. Getting to work at 5 o'clock meant he could get a majority of his work for the week finished before the inevitable fire started. By the time Shannon arrived at 8, he'd plowed through all of his work slated for Monday and Tuesday. He stretched, stood, strolled over to his window to watch gray clouds roll in, painting a dreary ceiling for the ferry boats chugging across Puget Sound. He returned to his desk. Next on his to-do list, call Raffi Cushman about the phone system. After 20 seconds of listening to an instrumental song that should have been shot, Raffi came on the line. Hi, Raffi. Micah Taylor. Wanted to follow up on our talk at J.B. Olson's party 2 weeks back. I remember John having a party, but I don't remember meeting you, Micah. I mean, I know who you are, of course, but we talked about both graduating from UW the same year. We both played Les Paul guitars back in high school. Micah whistled inwardly. Did the guy want Rimsoft's business or not? He should have had Shannon call him. This was a waste of time. Wow, sorry, it's just not clicking for me. You sure it was me? You probably met a lot of people. I just want to see your proposal for a new phone system. Sure, I'd love to develop a plan for you. Micah wrapped up the conversation and shook his head. Unbelievable. The guy couldn't remember a conversation from 2 weeks ago that could result in a sizable account. Must have been drunk. By the time 6 o'clock rolled around on Wednesday evening, the week was wrapped, delivered, and under control, so he left for the beach a day early. Thursday, the sound of the surf woke him at 7:30. He rolled out of bed, grabbed coffee, took a long look at the waves as they tossed milk bubble foam up on the beach. After firing up his laptop and checking Rimsoft's stock price, he pulled up his email and breezed through 50 of them in half an hour. Then he answered Julie's 3 emails, done in 2 minutes. He probably should have taken more time, but he signed each one with "I love you." He hoped that would be enough, but he knew it wasn't. After checking ESPN for anything interesting, Mike headed into town for groceries. He glanced at his fuel gauge, almost empty. Perfect excuse to stop by Rick's gas station to pick up on last week's conversation. Rick's Gas and Garage stood out in 4 screen letters on top of a building that looked its age, even with a fresh coat of paint which tried in vain to hide decades of soggy Oregon Coast winters. He got out of his BMW and watched a tow-headed kid who couldn't have been over 5'2" pump his gas. Michael wandered into the garage and found Rick underneath a late model Lexus. Before he could say hello, Rick rolled out from under it and announced to the vehicle in his deep baritone, "Done with you forever." Micah started to reintroduce himself. "Hey, Rick, we met last..." "Hey, great surprise to see you, Micah." Rick sat up with a grin. "What are you doing right now?" "Right now?" "Yep, right now." Rick yanked a clean rag from his pocket and wiped the oil from his hands. Grocery shopping. Starting or finishing? Finished. Excellent. Rick waved his thumb at the Lexus. Now I've got this emergency handled. I got to make a quick trip into Seaside. Want to come? Well, I almost laughed. Sorry, got to go now. You coming or not? Rick's piercing eyes were hard to resist. Plus, there was a chance to ask about the deep odometer issues. Why not? Terrific. Rick finished cleaning his hands and strode out of the garage, hardly looking as he tossed a rag 20 feet through the air into a large rusty drum filled with oil-covered claws. When he reached his 89 Ford, he gestured toward it. It's not luxury like yours, but I guarantee it won't break down. As they pulled out, Rick called to the gas-pumping kid. Devin, you let the Petersons know their Lexus is ready. And if Micah's keys are in his ignition, could you move his car away from the pump? Devin flashed a grimy, grease-covered thumbs up. Micah opened his eyes wide. Rick winked. Don't worry, he'll clean up a bit first. As they pulled onto Highway 101 and headed north, Rick said, So, is romance a part of Micah Taylor's life these days? Too big of a part. Too much complication. Too many questions with no answers. Why did Julie have to put the full court press on him? He loved her. She loved him. Couldn't it stay that simple for a while longer? Yeah. Care to expand on that? I don't know. Sorry if I hit a nerve. Micah rapped his knuckles on his knee. Been going out for a year. Been business partners for 6. Great business partner. You see a long-term future together? Wow. The guy didn't mind going for the throat a la Barbara Walters. Not sure. I was handing an ultimatum 10 days ago. She wants a ring. Do you want to give her one? I love her. Rick adjusted his Rams hat. That's not what I asked. I'm not sure. Micah shifted in his seat. That's a lie. I am sure. I'm positive I'm not even close to ring ready. I want to be. Part of me, at least. Micah loosened his seatbelt. I should be ready. But the idea of getting engaged makes me... Micah stared at the yellow lines in the middle of the road as they zipped under Rick's truck. Strange. He barely knew the guy. Yet here he was, spilling out his Julie problems all over the front seat of Rick's Ford. I feel as if I'm in a room screaming and no one even looks up, Rick said. What? It's from Titanic. Kate Winslet describing her life before Leonardo DiCaprio frees her. You feel like Rose? Micah turned toward the passenger's side window. He wasn't ready to spill everything. He turned back to Rick. Pretty good quote. Where'd you come up with it? I'm a bit of a movie trivia buff. Really? Want to take me on? Absolutely, Rick grinned. Ready? What decade should we focus on? How about the one you were born in? Fine, Micah nodded. Top grossing movie of 86, and you're only getting one clue. I don't need one. Maverick. Rick burst out laughing. Impressive. All right. Name 2 movies Tom Cruise made before Top Gun sent him into the stardom stratosphere. Micah tapped his forehead in mock concentration. Wait. How about The Outsiders and All the Right Moves? Not bad. Micah volleyed back. Staying on the same path. Name at least 3 actors or actresses in The Outsiders who went on to stardom other than Cruise. Rick turned left into the parking lot of an auto parts store that looked even older than his garage. He hopped out with a quickness belying his age and a linebacker-sized body. I'll take just 5 minutes to get those parts. Whoa, sorry, Charlie. No tuna for you till you answer the question. No time to pick up the parts? No way. You might pull up IMDb on the computer in there, Micah said. IMDb? The Internet Movie Database? Playing dumb doesn't work with me. Side note, I have that on my phone. Doing movie and TV reviews. They didn't have that at the time of this writing. Rick laughed, propped his elbows up on the open window, and stuck his head inside. Okay, would you count Diane Lane, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, and Matt Dillon as having a little time in the sun? Rick slid into the parts store, and Micah shook his head. He was drawn to the man as if he were at the end of a bungee cord stretched to its limit. Confident, well-spoken, intelligent. Why did this guy run a gas station in a tourist town? Every houseman spoke of more than oil changes and alternators. Micah suspected his list of accomplishments went beyond working on cars, and yet, as much as he searched, he couldn't find an ego hinting at hidden fortune or fame. As they pulled in onto Highway 101 and head back toward Cannon Beach, Micah said, "You want to tell me about the deeper issues of life surrounding odometers that gained 16,000 miles?" Rick stayed silent for more than a minute before he spoke. "In every moment, we make choices. Those choices ripple out and affect every area of our lives. A butterfly flapping its wings can cause a hurricane 1,000 miles away. I understand the butterfly effect, but what are you talking about? Isn't this about my car?" "Not really." "Okay," Micah stared at Rick. "What is it about?" "Your life." "What about my life?" "Choices." Rick kept his eyes on the road. This time the silence was only 10 seconds. "More to come later. Give it time, okay?" It wasn't a question. It was a command. The guy was magnetic, but Micah couldn't get rid of a wariness that flitted around the corners of his mind. More a feeling than anything concrete, until now. Talk about cryptic. Something about the man made Micah feel like he was immersed in an episode of Lost. Side note, I liked that show back in the day. The rest of the way back, they talked sports, local politics, and Cannon Beach history. When they shook hands goodbye, Rick said, "Can we connect up again soon?" "Sure, I'd like that." "Me too." Rick clapped Micah on the back and strode into his gas station. "Don't worry." He turned back to Micah. "Answers will come." Back at the house, Micah lost himself in the Fellowship of the Ring so thoroughly that by the time he stopped reading, the sky had turned from misty gray to the sooty blackness of a foggy April night. He headed toward the master bedroom more relaxed than he'd been in years. Despite the unanswered questions being within miles of where his heart had shattered, he felt at peace. He didn't wake on Saturday morning till 9. When was the last time he'd done that? Too long. His Rimsoft life never allowed it. But didn't he own the company? He could choose to get off the hamster wheel. Was he running Rimsoft, or was Rimsoft running him? Taking the next 3 Fridays off turned into taking the next 6 Fridays off, which followed a consistent routine. He worked 10 to 12 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, made a late evening drive to Cannon Beach that night, then spent the weekend exploring the area, running, having breakfast on Saturdays with Rick at Morris's fireside. The Sunday afternoons, he filled up at Rick's before heading back to Seattle. His quick stop to refuel always turned into an hour-plus conversation about the ups and downs of Rimsoft, his relationship with Julie, and the lure of Cannon Beach. Rick always listened with genuine interest, quick to clarify a comment to make sure he understood the situation, slow to give advice unless Micah pressed him. After Micah's final, "I gotta go," they each tried to stump each other with a new movie trivia question. It never worked, but they promised next week they'd find one that would. Rick had moved into a position in Micah's life that few people occupied. Friendship with no strings attached. It felt wonderful. Pursuit, not because of his money or fame, but simply because Rick enjoyed knowing him. It only bothered Micah slightly that Rick somehow seemed to know him much more thoroughly than Micah knew Rick. During the week at Rimsoft, work was packed with meetings on the new beta version of their flagship product. It was a roller coaster time, not knowing if the testers, and by association the critics, would go into rapture over the new software or try to bury it. And Michael loved every second of the ride. It was Rimsoft's Super Bowl, and it never failed to give him a rush. Julie and he had dinner on Tuesday or Wednesday night each week, but her frustration as new weekend life grew. The Wednesday before his 6th weekend in Cannon Beach, they went to Palisade. The lights of West Seattle blinked at them from across Puget Sound. As soon as they were seated, Julie folded her arms and tossed Micah on the grill. "So what's your answer?" she asked. "About?" "Don't insult me." Julie smacked her menu against the table. "You said this dinner was about our future." "Can't we order first?" Micah studied the restaurant specials. "No." She waited till he looked up. "I asked for an answer in 4 weeks. It's been 6. That place has you hook, line, and heart. So does Seattle. Seattle includes me. Cannon Beach doesn't." It could. Micah slid his finger down the side of his water glass, then wiped the moisture on the tablecloth. Do you love me, Micah? Yes. Do you want to marry me? Micah sucked in a deep breath and held it. 5 seconds passed. He knew it was far too long. That question required an instantaneous yes. Julie folded her russet cloth napkin into a neat triangle, set it on her plate, and pressed down the crease with 2 fingers. Then she stood. What are you doing? You can't have both. Both what? He said. Don't play dumb. It's just a beach place. Micah motioned for her to sit back down. I won't be spending a bunch of time there much longer. Things will get back to normal. I'm going to sell the place like we talked about. Seattle's where I belong. You're obsessed with the place. You said you couldn't stand Cannon Beach, even though you won't tell me why. But you keep going down there. It makes no sense. She put on her coat and buttoned it all the way to the top. I need you to decide very soon. The rush of heat filled his face as Julie strode away from the table. Micah wasn't sure if it was from the stares of the people sitting around him or the lie he just told her about wanting to get married. After insisting on giving Palisades money for occupying a table for 10 minutes, he got in the car and stared out the window to seeing nothing. Maybe he'd head for the beach a day early. It was becoming a sanctuary, as long as he could continue to keep his childhood memories at bay. And if no new room popped into existence, to scramble his brain. And that finishes chapter 7. That was a little longer chapter. That was a good one, though. He's been going there for 6 weeks now. No new rooms, and no new doors. But this relationship with Rick seems to be a really good one. Really good influence on him. At the same time, he's drifting away from Julie, and Julie really wants to marry him. She thinks this is going someplace, but he obviously doesn't. I think we can probably safely say that's probably not going to happen. That relationship's probably going to be over soon. But so what do you think about this future that he's developing with this new friend Rick and with this house? He's working 40, 50 hours a week, Monday through Friday, as a business owner, and then for 3 days a week he's spending his he's going down on Thursday night. So I kind of know that drive. I know part of that drive. I have a friend, friends down in Portland that would go visit from time to time. I actually due for a visit down there, and so we'll do that from time to time. It's a nice little drive. So next up we'll be doing chapter 8. Hope you've been enjoying this. I'm enjoying reading it. It's actually it does help me after a long day at work, and it helps me to relax. Now in the process, all the processes involved of putting up a backdrop or seeing if I can find something that has to do with the story to put on the screen behind me and things like that. All that is really stuff that helps to relax me and calm me down after a long, hard day. Tomorrow night, I'm probably not gonna get a video out tomorrow night. I'll do my morning video tomorrow. Expect to see that. I've been thinking about doing a live Bible reading in the morning. If you like that idea, let me know. I don't have a huge audience yet, but maybe, that's okay. Maybe 1 or 2 of you will join me for that. Who knows? Let me know if you think that's a good idea. Start doing one of those, say at about 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, something like that. Do a video, a live one. We can kind of chat about the reading a little bit. Probably take a 5:31 and see how long that runs. So it's just thoughts crossing my head. We have the option there. So let me know what you think of that in the comments down below, and let me know what you think about about this book, how it's coming along. Are you starting to connect with Micah a little bit? I mean, at first he's kind of hard to connect to from my perspective because I'm a blue collar guy, and he clearly is not a blue collar guy. But there's other things that are happening in his life that he's becoming more relatable, I think. So what do you think about that? What do you think about Julie's attitude? I think she's actually in the right to a certain extent. I mean, what are you going to do now, buddy? So anyway, God bless. I will talk at you later. See you in the morning for the morning Bible reading. And be sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up just to let me know you like what I'm doing here. Check me out on VidMe. which is another place Bible and Blues is. Also on Twitter. I'm trying to find me on Twitter, Bible and Blues. So, hey, have a great day. I'll see you later.